Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've got a lot of requests from the last video I had with the JavaScript, just the vanilla JavaScript, the clock app. This project here was recreated using vanilla JavaScript. People have been asking me, how would you go about turning this into a React project? So today we're going to turn this JavaScript project into a React project. So I'll just close that down for a minute. So I've just got the basic React template opened, npx create React app. So I'm just going to start cleaning up the files a bit here now. So I'm going to delete the index.css, delete the app test, I'm going to get rid of that logo. So in the index, yes, we're going to delete this line. I'm going to save that. Our app.js then, I'm going to remove the logo. We're going to get rid of all this content here. So we're back to our blank canvas now. So first step, we're going to go to our app.js. At the top, we're going to import React from React, and I'm going to use a class-based component for this today. So, component, we're going to change this function to a class. Extends component. We need to render then when we're using a class, so render going to move this up into our render. Now we'll just push a h1 in there for the minute. It's compiling now. I have an error someplace. So we have an error somewhere. Import React from React. Oh, get rid of these brackets. Refresh. Right. Now we're back to our blank canvas. So in our source folder, I'm going to create a component. I'm going to call this clock.js. And here now we're going to import React from React. We're going to have a function-based component in here. So we will function clock, and in here we will return export it at the end. Clock. Okay, so in here we're going to have a div for the clock for our main container. So and we're going to have another div with the class of hand and hour. Then we're going to create another div. These are going to be the 3 hands, so we're going to have dash hand and dot minute. And then one for the seconds hand, so that hand dot second. Okay. I'm going to create a div for each number on the face of the clock now. So we're going to use Emmet to do that. So we're going to have a class of number, and then we're going to have a class of number, and we're going to use the $sign for the number. We need 12 of them. Then we're going to have a div inside of that, and inside the div there's going to be the number. So, using Emmet is after greatly increasing the speed of typing with code. So we have a div for each number, and inside the main div we have a number class and the number 1, 2, 3 of the number, and inside that div we just have a div with each number. So let's save that for the minute. We'll go back to our app.js and we'll bring in our clock component. CK, control and spacebar tab. And that's a shortcut. It imports the clock from clock. So we just finish off that. It's compiling. So now we have all our numbers the whole way down, and I'm just going to copy in the CSS from the last project. I'll leave a link in the description for the CSS from my GitHub. So I'm just going to copy and paste all, control all, C, going to go into my app CSS, or just replace everything in here with the new CSS. So there's our face of our clock. So now in our clock.js we're going to add some functions in here to get the clock working. First of all, in our app CSS we're going to set some state. So I'm going to set some state. We're going to have second ratio. And the initial state will be 0. I'm going to set a ratio for each, the second, the minute and the hour, and they're all going to be 0 initially. Okay, so in our app.js we're going to set a function to set the clock. So we're just going to say set clock. I'm going to have an arrow function. So we're going to say const current date equals new date, and we're going to be setting our state. So I'm just going to say let let's see. Let the second ratio equals current date. I'm going to get the seconds. I'm going to divide that by 60. I want to set another variable, the minute ratio. Now that's going to be equal to the second ratio plus the current date dot get minutes we're going to divide that by 60. I'm going to have an hour ratio then as well. That's going to be equal to the minute ratio plus the current date dot get hours. I'm going to divide that by 12. Now we're going to be setting the state. We're going to be setting the second ratio and the minute ratio and hour ratio to each of these variables. So I'm going to say this, that set state. Now we're going to be setting the state. We're going to be setting the second ratio to second ratio and then we're going to set this that set this that set state. We're going to be setting the minute ratio to the minute ratio. And this that sets date. And now we're going to be setting the hour ratio. We're going to set the hour ratio to the hour ratio. So in order for that to work, we're going to use a component did mount. So component did mount. So this loads every time the page is rendered. So initially when the page is rendered, this is going to work. So we're going to set an interval. And inside the interval we're going to have a function. And we're going to run the set clock function every second. So this dot set clock, and we're going to run it every second. Okay. So when the page loads, the component did mount function will trigger, and we're going to call this set clock function every second to update our state. So in our clock.js now we're going to, for our hour hands, we're going to do some inline styling. But first we need to pass in the props. So in our clock we're going to pass in the second ratio. And that's going to be equal to the second ratio. But first we're going to destructure this.state. So we're going to destructure our state, second ratio, minute ratio, hour ratio. I'm going to set that equal to this dot state. Now, so second ratio, I'm going to pass in the minute ratio. That's going to be equal to the min ratio, and the hour ratio is going to be equal to the hour ratio. Sorry, that needs to go in there. Okay, so we're passing in our props into our clock.js. So we're going to our clock.js. Now we're going to add in the style. We're going to passing in the props. So we're going to have our hour ratio, our minute ratio, and we're going to have our second ratio. Okay, so for our hour hand we're going to style. If you're doing in styling, we do two curly brackets. We're going to set that to the transform. We're going to do backticks and translate. Translate minus 50%, and this is just going to center the hour hands first for us, and then going to rotate. Going to rotate the hands by the hour ratio multiplied by 360 to bring it to 2 degrees. So I'm just going to copy this. That's going to say the same. This is going to be the minute ratio. And we're going to add in the second ratio. Save that. go into our app.js, we save our app.js, compiling. Okay, so the hands aren't moving. Let's see what's wrong. Oh, yes. We have to put degrees in here. DEG. DEG. Save that now. Compiling. Refresh. Oh, I've put it in the wrong place. Needs to go in here. Now, compiling. Now, our clock is working. Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. If you'd like me to make videos on something that you want to see yourself, please add a comment below. Thanks very much.